I got some good news. Got some real good news coming for this one, everybody. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Living for a Living with your boy, Joey Bradley. Episode number 27. Let's go.
Living for a living, baby. How you doing?
Kind of switched it up a little bit on the intro right there. Just said Living for a Living rather than the Living for a Living podcast. I don't know if you caught that small little detail. Because I think you know this is a podcast at this point. Threw my name in there too, just in case you forgot. I don't know if that's important or not, but maybe like for the new people that I can kind of get slowly on board with this thing, which I'm realizing, I kind of made fun of myself to start last week's episode about how it's getting sad that nobody's really watching it. And then I got a couple comments of people I don't know commenting on it. So that's cool. Thank you to those people out there. For those that don't know, Joey Bradley, quick little bio, American dude, weird as fuck, playing American football in Europe the last 5-6 years. 5 years, 6 seasons though. Portugal, Spain, Finland, Poland, and now Czech Republic. Like to travel, like to connect, like to meet new people, like to talk, obviously. And also got a little vlog series, which I really only like doing so much on when I'm traveling in more exotic places. Like I did one in Nepal while I was visiting there with one of my brothers who is a Nepali local. Although I do have a good vlog coming up soon this week. I'm going to talk about it a little bit today. I went to Prague with a guy on my team, Peter, who's my center on the football team. And Peter does not speak any English. I mean, he, yes, no. I think his English is a half a step above my Czech, which my Czech is pretty non-existent. And so Peter and I together, with nobody else, went to Prague and spent the entire day together from 9 a.m. until like 7 p.m. together. Went up in the castle, hiked all the way up to the top. It was a fucking beautiful day. Had some pizza, walked around Prague a little bit, and then we went go-karting. And the whole time we talked via Google Translator on the phone. You can do the conversation button, and actually he had a different Czech app that's basically Google Translate. And so he'd ask me something in Czech, and then it would spit it out in English, or I could just read it. But like while we were driving and while we were in the city, and walking, just listening to this robot lady voice talk back to me, and then I would take the phone and vice versa. And I vlogged that one because that was a cool day and just a cool experience in general, that two people who do not speak the same language had an entire day together with some really good communication. And now I know a lot about Peter, his family, his story, his life, and vice versa. He knows a lot about me. And like I said, it's crazy because he's my center and he's like one of the captains on the football team. And so before we realized that the translator app worked so well, he would have someone, he'd need to talk to me in the game or at practice, and he'd just have to call someone over. And we're doing the little UN triangle of translation. And now that we have the app, I mean, that's my guy. So Peter, appreciate you, bro. Dziękuję much, I think. Thanks a lot in Czech. And so stay on the lookout for that vlog. I don't know when I'm going to get it out. Maybe it'll be in a couple months. That's kind of normally my game plan with vlogs, is I don't do them until months later. And it's kind of fun that way. Because by the time I leave somewhere, I get to have like the new memory of the old memory while I'm making it, and it's just a lot of fun. But that'll be a really cool one, a really, really cool one. And like I said, we went go-karting at the end. We did real life Mario Kart at this sick track, and Peter got me. He was about a second better than me on most laps, maybe a couple seconds on one or two of them. He was pretty good, but I think I impressed him because I grew up go-karting, four-wheeling, all of that stuff. My grandpa's, now it's just the family kind of ranch place. We had a bunch of land. My cousins were into motocross, all that stuff. And so I held my own. I still took an L, but I held my own. I think I impressed him. So I'm excited just to kind of continue that friendship because, yeah, man, that's a part of what I'm doing all of this for out here in Europe because, just to be straight up, I don't make too much money. I make enough to survive. I make enough out here. I make enough to save a little bit. I'm kind of figuring out my plan for after the season. I think it's looking like Portugal. Meus manos, tenho muita saudade. And that leads me into my next thing. I got a new bar. And it's funny, I've been talking shit about Jihlava, about how there's nothing to do and no girls and na. And there's still not a ton of fish in the pond, but ever since I've started complaining about it, I've been seeing a couple. And I don't know if it's because school started and I'm a little scared that they're like fucking 18 years old. They don't look 18, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I think I heard there's a film school in town. I don't know, but I've seen a couple fish that weren't hooked and weren't with a stroller, and so might have to swim on over there. You know what I mean? But I found out where people go at night, people my age, because the first 2 months I've been here, I'm in the city center on a Friday night, Saturday night, nothing to do the next day. And so I'm like, let me get into something. I'm not trying to party it up or nothing, but I'm trying to at least like go have a beer and like meet a random person. That's like what I love doing. And so I went to this one spot that I go to lunch all the time. I haven't included it in my spots, but because it's a semi-regular spot. It's a spot I go to that they make, I don't know what, it's technically like a ramen place, but they also have burgers. They have everything, but they have a little Japanese influence to it. And so there's like I think ramen's Japanese, right? And they have like a pot sticker dumpling dish that's super good. And it's is the closest thing I can get to momo, which is Nepal's most like well-known food. And it's essentially just a dumpling with meat and vegetables inside. They don't got the momo spicy sauce, but they put it in kind of like a teriyaki soy thing. It hits, and a little seaweed on the side. It's nice. And so I go there maybe once a week, maximum once every other week. And so I was just in the city. I was like, I need to get some dinner real quick. Was about to go to my pizza spot like normal, and just something came across me. Universe was talking to me and said, nah, pizza ain't it tonight, yo. And I said, okay, all right. And I said, I could go for some momo, because I'm pissed. There's a Nepalese place in the city that doesn't serve momo or dal bhat. It's like, so it's not really Nepalese. It's more Indian, but people who work there is Nepalese. Besides the point. So I go to this spot and sit down. I order my thing, order a beer. They got some good like craft beer on tap. And I'm sitting there. I'm doing some of my football work, doing doing my thing on my computer, and end up, a guy randomly comes up to me, hey, good game on Sunday. I said, oh, thanks, man. That's kind of cool to just get recognized randomly in Europe, because shit doesn't happen. And he was friends of the manager of our team and has done stuff with advertising, if I understood him correctly. His English wasn't great, but it was dope because he was trying and was outgoing, and we ended up talking for 10, 15 minutes, and he went on his way. And so I was like, man, this is a good vibe out here. I liked it. And then I noticed on the menu says they're open until 2 a.m. on most nights, and then 4 a.m. on Friday, Saturday. And so I look at me and the waiter kind of became homies over the course of me being there. And I said, yo, Peter, you guys are open till 2 a.m., 4 a.m.? And he's like, yeah. I was like, and people are here? Because like I said, I've gone out, I've walked through the entire city center, which is a pretty short walk, to be honest, but I've walked through all the city center. It's just right outside the city center. There ain't nothing going on past 10 p.m., even Friday, Saturdays. And he says, yeah, actually a lot of people are here at night. And I said, well, that makes sense, because this is the only fucking spot that's open, probably. And so anyway, I'm having a good time. And then next thing I know, I hear some Portuguese, or at least I think I heard some Portuguese. And so I kind of look over at the table right across from me, and I'm like, I can't tell if it is Portuguese or if it's Spanish or what. But now I'm eavesdropping hard. I'm like, is that? I've had a beer or two. I'm like, am I just fucking drunk? I swear that's Portuguese though. And then I heard him speak some more, and it was definitely Portuguese. And dude looked pretty Brazilian, and as a homie looked Brazilian. I was like, there's no way there's two Brazilian dudes out here in Jihlava right now. And so I'm looking at him, creepily probably. I had to have creeped him out, because looking at him, because I obviously don't look like I speak or understand Portuguese, and I heard some more, then it got confirmed, these dudes are speaking Portuguese. And so I look over at him, I'm like, você são de Brazil? You guys are from Brazil? And he said, yeah. And I was like, whoa. So I ended up, long story short, I ended up sitting with these two dudes, two Brazilian guys and an Italian guy, and I was about to leave when I met them. Ended up having 2-3 extra beers. Had to walk home because the buses stopped running at 11 p.m. out here. But met two Brazilian dudes who were living here in Jihlava, and I got to flex and speak a little Portuguese, and it was fun because in the beginning, I'm not fluent, but I can speak. Thanks to I had the best teacher in the world, my Portuguese mom, and so in the beginning, I'm trying to speak some Portuguese, and they're just responding to me in English. The one dude spoke really good English, but the other Brazilian dude didn't really speak much English, and so he's responding to me in English, but I'm responding back in Portuguese, and so it takes maybe 5-10 minutes before they both realize oh, this dude actually knows some Portuguese. He doesn't just know hello, how are you. The basics. I can talk, I can understand. And their accent, normally Brazilians are tough for me to understand, but they were from the super south. And so their accent was super easy for me to understand for some reason. And it was a fucking cool night, man. Just me, two Brazilian dudes, Italian guy in middle of nowhere, Czech Republic, having some beers, talking about anything and everything. And the Italian guy does business with them, so he speaks a little bit of Portuguese. And Italian and Spanish are super similar. And my Spanish is not great, but okay also. And so we're just one sentence English, one sentence Spanish, one sentence Portuguese. He'd respond in Italian, but we could all kind of understand what he was saying. And it was a cool night, man. Like that's for me, those kind of nights where it's a random connection, and then I get to speak the other language that I really know how to speak and practice it, because I've been wanting to practice, because if you don't use it, you lose it is definitely true. And so I always try and have like at least a conversation with myself in Portuguese every day. Like I think I mentioned a few episodes back, I've randomly kind of talking to this one girl on Instagram who is Portuguese, who doesn't really speak much English. And so we speak in Portuguese, but it's all through texting, which is a funny story in itself, which it's just like a random thing, right? So it's not a story yet, but I think it will be a story in like episode, what'll be 2-3 months from now, 10 more episodes, 12. So like episode 40, I got a good story coming. For sure a good story coming, I know. Yeah, man, so I got that, like, that's a spot now. And the dude who works there, cool as fuck. I told him I was from Seattle. He said, "Oh, Frasier." And like normally that's not the go-to for Seattle in Europe. It's normally like, Grey's Anatomy or what's the other one? What's the other Seattle show? I don't even remember. Oh, like Nirvana or, some other thing, or Seahawks. Those are like the three main things people associate Seattle with internationally. And he said Frasier, and I was like, yeah, bro. Like, my mom loves Frasier. I didn't really watch it that much, but my mom loves it. He's like, oh, it's so great. I love it. And so my guy Peter at, I don't know what the bar is called, but I'm going to go there after I record this and probably do my editing there, because it's a good little vibe out there. Cool craft beer spot with maybe some fish, yo. Maybe some fish, dog. Here we go. But yeah, man, so that was cool. That was a lot of fucking fun. I had so much fun that night. Like I said, I probably ended up having 6 beers that night. And Peter, like, he tried to sell me a dessert after dinner, and I was like, nah, bro, I'm sorry, I don't want nothing else. He's like, I'm sorry, I gotta try and sell, I go, yeah, it's cool. I said, I'll have one more beer though. Okay. And by like the 6th one, he looked at me, he goes, "Are you sure you're not Czech?" I said, "Hey man, you're a good salesman. You didn't get me on the dessert, but you got me on 5 more beers." So I hope he's working tonight, because he's a good vibe. And I've gone there a few other times, and the girls who work there are pretty Czech, if you know what I'm saying. So that's that made me excited. Very, very excited to get a spot that I know, like, I can maybe go make a random connection at, And so actually I made a couple random connections this week. And so, I attribute it to, it's hot. I got the windows shut right now because, I don't know where I live is like a bug breeding zone. Like, I got these bugs. I had my windows open for a little while, and I went to shut them. And in my windowsill and on the windows are like these little, they're kind of cute, really. They fly, kind of, little like beetle-looking things. But I like got, like, I was nice. I took a piece of paper, like, shoop, slid it under, threw them outside. I got like 2 of them out, and I look on the window, and there's like 7 or 8 of them. And I'm like, yo, what is going on? And so I got the windows shut now, and I can see all these bugs just chilling outside, waiting to come back in. It must be a good vibe in here for the bugs. So, but, shit, what was I saying? Some good, oh, yeah. Like, I kind of credit the making some random connections, seeing some fish, and, getting the bar, meeting the Brazilian dudes, speaking some Portuguese, all of that. I'd been kind of talking shit about Jihlava, and I still kind of do. Like, it's it is what it is. But I realized that it's because like I'm speaking my truth. And so when you speak your truth, like you're naturally vibrating on a higher level, and therefore you're going to attract more of your truth and more of what you truly want. And so that's just been a major thing for me, because you guys see it. Like I'm posting some stuff that, I'm not going to lie, like a couple years ago, a couple months ago, I'd have been too self-conscious to really talk about the girls in Czech Republic, or, say some kind of negative, but like just truthful things. They could come across negative, but they're observations and truthful from my perspective. And now that I'm on this wavelength and this frequency, this vibration, it reciprocates back to me. And so that's just something that I was thinking about and wanted to pass along, because the whole idea of speaking your truth, I think, is really, really powerful. And, on Instagram this week, yesterday, I ended up doing something I've been thinking about doing for a long time. But it also just kind of had like that weird self-conscious feeling about, where I unfollowed everybody. And not because I think people are stupid, or because I don't like everybody, or because their content sucks. It's really like the opposite of that, because I'd been just wasting way too much fucking time sitting there like this. I got TikTok off of my phone that I normally take out with me. I have two phones, Kevin Gates style. And, I'm just trying to limit it, because I'm really trying to read more. I got this book that I've been reading that I'll get into. But I unfollowed everybody. And so, what really finally pushed me over was seeing last week when I was looking up David Goggins and see he's following nobody. And then I saw a random video of him explaining how we waste so much fucking time on all of this bullshit. And we say, oh, we don't have time to do this and that and da-da-da-da-da. But if you really analyze what you're doing all day, every day, like we have so much time that we're just wasting, and it's a lot on the gadgets. And, I totally think I'm speaking negatively about it, but I totally think they're incredibly powerful and incredibly useful tools. And that's why I didn't delete my Instagram, is because I still want to use it as a messaging platform, use it to connect with people, use it for myself as like a little journal diary that I can also throw pictures and videos up with, along with just kind of plug in the podcast and the vlog and other creative things that I'm doing. And, I can still, then the people that I'm messaging, I can check out their stories. I can check out their profiles. I can see what they're doing. And it'll make my usage of it much more deliberate. And I had a friend bring up like, well, you could have just, had more self-control. You didn't have to do that. And I said, yeah, you're totally right. 100% right. But I had been trying to do that, and I was being very unsuccessful at it. And so just the way I'm kind of an all in, all out kind of dude. And so I didn't want to like unfollow certain things, because I knew it still wouldn't be what I wanted it to be. And because I was just getting into that loop of Instagram, stories, scroll, exit, TikTok, scroll, Twitter, Facebook, scroll. And so I got Facebook off the phone. I got TikTok off the phone. I got Instagram, so I'm following nobody. So like my feed now is literally just me and the sponsors. The little story spot is only me. And so like if I look at the search page, because I used to always just, click the search page and get distracted on that, but that was part of like the loop. And so now that I don't have those other parts of the loop, like I really catch myself if I do that. And I'm like, what am I doing? I don't care about this. I don't want to do that. And so, I'm looking forward to spending more time doing stuff for the podcast. Like I said, spend more time reading. I'm reading this book right now called Humans, a history of how we've fucked it all up, or something along those lines. And I highly recommend it. I'm like halfway through it. And in short, summary is it's just a little historical, informational thing about how, like, throughout history, humans have done some dumb ass shit. And it honestly gives you some hope for the current situation that we're in, because I truly feel like a lot of people are just fucking idiots right now. And leaders and governments and all that stuff are as well. But when you read some of the stories from the past and what's gone on in the past, from governmental level to military to every kind of level, you're like, oh, all right, this is about normal. This is just par for course. And I mean, it's nice. And so now I'm trying to read in the mornings, read when I'm on the bus, anytime I'm public transportation, instead of doing the random scrolling when I'm sitting at the restaurant waiting for my pizza, I'm reading, and I feel better. Honestly, it's only been, obviously a couple days now, but I feel better, and I think it's a strategy that's working for myself. So I'm going to keep rocking with it. And then eventually maybe I'll start following people again. I don't know. We'll see. But right now I like where I'm at with this process. Oh, that Kozel Cherny is fucking nice, man. This is the real Kufola. Okay? For all those American people or anybody who doesn't know that's not Czech, Kufola is like a shitty version of Coke. I don't like Coke, so it's like I wouldn't like Kufola, even if it was good. But it's like a really shitty, less carbonated, less sweet version of Coke. That they just love it out here. And like one of the first 2-3 meals I went out with some Czech guys, like they just ordered it for me as like a initiation, because it's the pride and joy. And so I drank it the first time, just not to be disrespectful. And the third time they ordered, I was like, no, I'll just have water, please. But no, this Kozel Cherny Kozel, excuse me, this is like a Guinness, but a little bit more sweet. It's nice. It's nice. But now, speaking of people being stupid, I got one for you. And I gotta be a little bit careful with my words, because I don't want this to get taken down, because the one got taken down when I was talking about those things that go over your face. The great tools to prevent COVID from spreading. That's what I'm talking about. And it's just idiotic. I'm sorry at this point. I'm done being politically correct. I'm done. It's dumb. It's stupid. Statistics. I mean, the box of these things say that they're not going to do anything. Literally on the box, read the box. And there's countless doctors, countless experts that have said the same thing. And out here in Czech Republic, we went all of August. They were not required at all. And then for whatever reason, September 1st, they became required. And if you look at the numbers, there's a slight rise in cases, maybe. I think slight rise. Out here has been very chill. There's literally no deaths. Maybe there's been one maximum of 3 deaths per day over the course of the month. And I'm like 90% sure I looked it up yesterday. I'll double check. We'll throw a little screenshot on there. Maybe, I don't know. It'll get taken down if I do. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to edit this part out. YouTube already took down episode 19 because I was talking about that and it said I was impersonating someone or something. Like, there's some weird shit going on, you guys. But yeah, so now in stores and the bus, you're required to wear them. I ain't wearing that shit. I'm done. I'm good. I don't need it. I get on the bus, and there's a couple other people that are non-rule followers, but the Eastern European culture in general is pretty rule followers. Like in Poland, like nobody jaywalked. Like it could be midnight, nobody out. People are waiting for the green man to tell them they can cross the street. And out here, definitely some rule following going on, but nobody said nothing. And I'll be honest, I got one in my bag just in case someone does give me some shit, because I really am not trying to like die on this hill, but it's just something I'm over. And you know, I think in the supermarkets they're required now. I went in to get this beer. I didn't have one on. I walked right through. Gave my beer, went through the checkout, smiled at the lady. Dobry den, jak się masz? Dziękuję. Na skledano. Hello, how are you? Thank you, see you later. With a smile on my face. She smiled back. I think I could see that smile in her eyes. And no, I'm just like, it's at this point, it's control. And I mean, I just saw a video before I started this, and I was going to talk about it regardless, but part of me that got me so hot on it was in Spain right now. There's videos now of like cops. You want to talk about some police brutality? I'll share it here. Let me pull it up. I don't know if I need to. Yeah, I guess I can watch it as we can. I wonder if I can save. How am I going to save this? Copy video address. I need that. Full screen. I don't know how to save. I can look it up. But there's a cop. I mean, as you see, here's a cop on this dude's neck, pushing his head into the ground. And this is like a 16-year-old kid, by the way. Spanish cops, by the way, are shitty. Like, really shitty. They don't do anything to actually protect the city. There's tons of crime and stealing and stuff in Barcelona. They don't give a fuck. You put a Spanish person in a position of power. There's big ego there, and it's a bad combination. Similar to the States, honestly. And so this kid right here is pushed his head into the ground, knee on the back of his neck, George Floyd style, for not wearing a mask properly or not wearing a mask at all, and then gets hauled off to jail. Well, I don't fully know if he gets hauled off to jail. I should say that, but it's just like he gets hauled off, right? Let me fast forward a little bit. It's like hard to watch in a way, you know? Cuffed, like they're just strong arming him, and yeah, lifted up like a rag doll and over a mask. Okay? Like, these cops won't do nothing against someone who steals a phone, but we're going to get the 16-year-old boy without a mask? Fuck out of here, bro. Like, this, and man, I called it. I called it from the beginning. You can go back, my episode with Adria. Called it from the beginning. And I remember telling this to somebody who didn't like my position on it. I said, this is the start of a police state. This is the start of losing, like, yes, it's just a mad, da-da-da-da. It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. And when they can start doing this type of stuff to us over some stuff that literally statistically is not helping. Or if it is, it's by this much. I mean, if you did it 100% properly with like an N95, a new one every time you went out, nobody's doing that. Okay? Nobody's doing it. I'm not wearing some dirty ass fucking mask over and over and over again. I'm not going to buy one and rewash it. Like, I'm living. I'll take my chances. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've built up over the last 5 years. I've been and probably even longer than that, but really over the last 5 years, been extremely health conscious, eating right, sleeping, exercising, all of that stuff, building up my immune system, not because I knew this was coming or anything but just because I want to be healthy. And now here I am needing to sacrifice my own self, my own beliefs, so a fat motherfucker who's been eating McDonald's for their whole life can be slightly more safe. Nah, bro. I'm sorry. I'm going to be selfish. Straight the fuck up. I'm going to be selfish. Like, you shouldn't have been eating McDonald's every day, homie. Like, that's what, on the bus, like, I mean, I'm just seeing random people, but like, I need to sacrifice myself so I can save the person who's got fucking meth scabs all over their arms? Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good on that. Like, you made a choice. There's consequences to choices. I made a choice too. All right? And so that's just like how I'm feeling on it. You can take that for what it is. I know that's going to ruffle some feathers, and I don't care. Straight up, I really don't care. Cancel me. I'm already fucking canceled. You know what I mean? Actually, if you cancel me, I might get some more attention, so please do cancel me. Because this shit's a joke, and it's about control. 100%. That's all it's about. This shit ain't about safety. This shit ain't about health. If it was about health, then they would get rid of all of the vending machines with soda. They would shut down McDonald's. They'd put regulations on that kind of stuff. They'd make it so, what were some of the necessary businesses where you could go buy lotto tickets? You could go to the liquor store. Man, if it was about health, none of that shit would have been open. Open your eyes, man. Straight up, open your eyes. You think that the people in charge give two fucks about you? That's cute. That's really cute. It's just so hypocritical. Like the people that will talk crap about the government right now with Trump or whoever. But right now it's a lot of the left side that'll talk crap about the government. Yo, but you guys had no trouble taking some money from the government when they gave you that paycheck, huh? I didn't hear a peep out of anybody saying, no, I'm not going to take that money because the government's not for me. No, you guys took that money, huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. And then in that same breath, fucking government's trying to take over us, da 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 da, blah, 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 blah. But we need to listen. Oh, motherfucker, bro. When did that cut off? Damn. Had a little technical difficulties right there. So sorry those last 6 minutes or 7 minutes or whatever were bad audio, because I don't want to, that was me spitting from the heart, and I don't want to redo that and be fake with it. So we'll just have to battle through with a little bit crappy audio from the camera. But what I was saying before I got interrupted by myself is like, people want to, fuck the government, da 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 da, and then turn around directly and say, we need to listen to the government, and we need to listen, and we need to obey because they have our best interest in heart. What? Like, what are you saying? Do you even know what you're saying? No, you're just regurgitating stuff that you've read and stuff that you've seen on the news. It's like, you make no sense if you really critically think. And I know that critical thinking is like some foreign thought these days. Like I get that. I totally get that. But it's like if you think that the government cares about your health and safety, you probably also think that 9/11 was done by terrorists from Osama bin Laden. Like, and I just wrap it all up. You can think I'm crazy. You probably already do. But the Twin Towers went down because of explosives. Okay? Like, that's how it happened. That's not speculation. That's how it happened. Planes don't do that. And I only bring that up because today is 9/11, and I say those two things in combination because the main defense for 9/11 being an inside job to some degree is the government would never kill 3,000 of its own people. Okay. Do you know how much money has been made off of the war in the Middle East, the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, the war that's still going on today, 20 years later, that we still have troops over there for both the oil and the poppy fields? You think 3,000 people was a big sacrifice? No. Halliburton, all of that stuff. I've talked with a guy who was an accountant in the Army. This was 5, 6, 7 years ago probably. And he was like in the Army over in the Middle East, doing all the paperwork mainly. He wasn't a soldier, but I mean, I guess he kind of was. But he said, hey, you know how much staplers cost when you're building a new barracks or you're building a new base over there? And I said, no, I don't know. How much? It was $3,000. Might have said 2,000. Either way, $2,000, $3,000 for a stapler to staple paper together. Because you know the companies that have the contracts for building all of that get stupid paid for that stuff. And who do you think buys the politicians? Yeah. And so, I mean, this might be interesting to Americans out there who don't want to believe that it was an inside job, which to me, there's no question. If it wasn't an inside job, then man, we were dumb as fuck. This is how it is. That's how it works. To let that happen. I mean, the World Trade Center 7, which no one wants to talk about, that also went down from mysterious explosions where like millions or billions of dollars of debt or missing money supposedly was, or there's something, I forget all the stats at this time. You're so naive. But just an interesting little tidbit is I haven't met one person in Europe or non-American person, whether it be European, African, Asian, whatever. I haven't met one person who doesn't think 9/11 was an inside job that's not American. And that's what's called being able to see the bigger picture because you're not inside of the picture frame. And so, yeah, quick little ramble on that one. I don't want to get too into this. Like I said, I'm not trying to make this a truther podcast. But I highly recommend doing some research, looking into some things. Because, I mean, at this point, we're 19 years later, and it's just accepted that Osama bin Laden did it. Because after all of the plane crash and the explosions, we found the passports of the hijackers of the plane. Like, they wouldn't even put that in a movie because it wouldn't be believable. Yet that's the story of how we know who the hijackers were. Okay. So, yeah. We're just at that point where it's a bunch of people, and I get it, like that don't want to be outcasted because it's in our DNA. Don't get me wrong. Like the tribe mentality, the herd mentality, that's in our DNA because evolutionarily speaking, you go back however long, like we're in tribes of 100 people, and if you do something and you get exiled from the tribe and you have to leave the tribe, you're going to die. And so it's been built into us that you don't want to mess things up with the tribe, you know? And so, but at this point, like, that's all it's about, man. That's really, really all it's about. And I just, I'm good on it, you know? I'm super good on it. I don't think, I've been thinking about this quite a bit lately. I don't think I'm coming back to the States. Definitely not for Christmas anymore. I don't know when the next time I'm coming back will be because, I mean, there's just nothing really back there for me. And there's just a lot of craziness going on. And so I'd rather, for my week or month being home, seeing my folks, like I'd rather them come travel and see me. And let's have a different experience out here because it's just not something I really want to be a part of right now. And then come December after the election, or depending on how this election goes with mail-in ballots, people are going to be pissed off, one side or the other. And personally, I think it's going to be the left that's pissed off because I don't have much statistics. This is just a gut feeling. I think Trump is going to win by a landslide. And it's the soft, sensitive left that makes all the noise and makes all the fuss. The right, where they, you know, they're not perfect in their ideologies at times either. But the right is a little bit more shut up and get it done and shut up and get through it. And the left now is just a bunch of babies for the most part. And so being from Seattle, and that's where I'd be for Christmas, I'm good on all of that stuff, man. I'm good. Thank God I am an Irish citizen now. Thank the Lord. Thank you, universe. Because now technically I never have to come back. I think I will at some point. I was talking to Peter about this through Google Translator. He asked me, he said, when are you going to go back to the U.S. and start a family? Because Peter's like 32, 33 with 2 kids. And I said, to be honest, bro, I don't think ever. At least that's my thought process right now. I know I can change my mind. I said, there's just nothing back there for me. And I really wouldn't want to raise my kids out there right now. I'd rather raise my kids in Europe and have kind of multicultural experiences and travel around Europe and do whatever. The only real reason I would want to go back to the U.S. at any time permanently at this point in my thought process is if my kid, who, I mean, that is a far out statement in itself, but if I had a kid and they were super into sports, I would want them to grow up and play in the American sports system, because I credit the way I am and the man that I'm becoming a lot to how much sports influenced me throughout my life, and how much the coaches and, my dad especially, he was a big coach for me, but all the other coaches I had too, through basketball, football, baseball, like I had some tough ass coaches, like looking back on it now. I mean, 13-year-old baseball year, this dude, Parker Smolin, was our coach. He was a younger dude. He was probably like 25 at the time, and he took no shit. And he had some high expectations for us. And his thing, I mean, he was a little extreme at times, I think. But, I mean, it was also good. Like, it made me better as a player and as a person. And his thing was like, if we made hella errors during the game, he was like, okay, if you guys are going to make me look stupid during the game, I'm going to make you look stupid after the game. And so if you had a bad game in the field, or like from a fundamental standpoint, which we worked on fundamentals a lot, and so he had the right to do this, in my opinion, we would be doing bunny hops, frog hops. We'd be doing all kinds of stupid looking stuff. And that was his thing. And right or wrong, man, that shit worked. And I got another bug here climbing up the camera. He's trying to get some camera time is what he's trying to do. I thought I got all you and your homies out of here, bro. Let me see if I can get this dude real quick, because he's about to climb on the lens. Come on, bro. Get on there. Come on, get on the paper. No, get on the paper. There you go. See, look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, he flew. I wonder if we got that on camera. Okay, get on the paper, bro, and get the fuck out the window. There you go. All right. Little intermission. But that was 13-year-old baseball year. I mean, we practiced at this indoor facility that wasn't very big. I don't know, maximum 90 feet from corner to corner. And Parker would be in there hitting the ball at us about as hard as he possibly could. And it was scary. But guess what? Man the fuck up and make the play, or block it with your chest. Yeah, it's going to hurt a little. Make the play. Get through it. And, I explained this last week. My dad and our coaches for youth football, we had the funniest story. Ooh, we get to tell this one. All my Issaquah homies love this story, and I'm sorry, Nelson, but I got to tell it. We're like 7th grade, 8th grade. So what's that, 13, 14 years old? We're practicing at the local baseball field, Tibbetts Valley, and we're in just warm-up, like stretching circle, doing our thing, and there's these kids 200 yards away or whatever, and they're hitting golf balls at us with golf clubs. And the balls are landing, like, in our circle. And we're kind of, like, freaking out a little bit because, and Nelson, who was, like, he wasn't the best player, and it was kind of like, I don't know why. I mean, like, looking back now, like, I don't think the coaches loved him super bad. Like, Nelson, my dad didn't have a problem with you from what I remember. Obviously, Rick Hansen had a problem with you. And so he's hitting, and Nelson is like the only one to like stand up. I mean, we were like drill sergeant. Like, we did what we were told in this football team, and we were good. We lost like 5 games in 6 years in youth football. And Nelson's like, coach. And like, I think he has a golf ball in his hand, if I remember right. And Nelson's like, Nelson, shut the fuck up. Stretch. And he's like, no, but coach, like the coaches have their backs turned so they can't really see what's going on. He's like, no, but coach. And Rick Hansen, Nelson, shut up, you jackass. I mean, this is literally a grown man calling a 13-year-old kid a jackass. And it was like, we all thought it was hilarious. And it's a story we literally tell every time we're all together. But I mean, if that happened now, the cops would be called probably. And I don't know. I'm sure it maybe fucked with Nelson for a little bit, but like, I bet if you asked him now, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, I should get him on the show at some point. Little Nelson, I got to get a little video of you talking about this. Like, I'm sure that tough love, and you could ask a lot of the dudes on that team, like, they all look back at that as like an extremely positive thing for them becoming better and being a better person in life. And so, I don't know if it's still like that out there. With coaches, like I said, I think people are softening up quite a bit. I'm sure there's still people that are super tough, though. Don't get me wrong. But the culture is changing in general, which is good and bad. But no, the only reason I'd want my kid and myself to go back to the U.S. is because of our sports system, with sports being in high school and college, and it's just completely different out here, where out here it's all like club teams and very little things are associated with the actual school. And so you have to be pretty much rich in order to really play sports. And on top of that, the only real sport out here that gets any true attention is soccer. And soccer to me is the worst sport for creating a man, and creating someone that's going to be better off in life. Because obviously the odds are that statistically you're not going to be professional and make money doing this. And so the benefit of sports is, exercise and creating a better human being. And to me, soccer almost creates worse people, because, just to put it bluntly, in soccer, kids are taught from a young age to fake an injury when they're not hurt in order to get a call. And it's literally, that is the glorification of victimhood. You're getting rewarded for being hurt, and then on top of that, faking being hurt. And so psychologically, that is bad. I'm sorry, but that is bad. That's not good. Where in the opposite of American football, the real football, you're taught from a young age to pretend you're not hurt when you are hurt. And I think that also has some negative consequences with itself too, the kind of, machoism that we're getting away from, or we're recognizing and understanding a little bit more that, men have feelings too, and men need to express them, and guys cry and all that stuff. But at the core basic level, the comparison of those two things is everything to me. And so for me, I would be real sad, I guess. I would support my kid if he wanted to play soccer. But boy, at home, I'd be telling him, if you fake being hurt, you're not going to be playing. Because I just, not from a sports thing, but just for a in life thing, I think that breeds a really bad mindset. And so I wouldn't tolerate or want to, I guess I wouldn't encourage it at all. I would encourage it the other way. And so, boy, yeah, that's I didn't plan on actually going that direction with it, but I'm glad I did, obviously. And speaking of football, we had our biggest game so far this week, week 4, against the team that is supposedly the second best team in the league, Bruno Seegers. And they were definitely our toughest test so far. And we ended up winning this week 42-20. And we played our asses off. Our O-line, man. I haven't shouted them out too much, but I've been saving it till a week we really needed to, and they did their thing this week. The Seegers had a really good D-line, or a couple good guys on the D-line. Nothing crazy special, but definitely the toughest interior D-line that we've faced so far, and solid D-ends, decent linebackers. And our O-line, I got touched a couple times, but more on a mental mistake than we did physically. And we ended up rushing for about 100 yards. My guy Dooney, our running back, is just a baller. He's got that fire in him. He had a run on 3rd down that I'll remember for the rest of my life. It was like 3rd and 5 late in the game. And we didn't block super great on the outside, even though on the outside our receivers blocked amazingly for the day. This just one play, they kind of got us. And Dooney, he got kind of stood up at damn near line of scrimmage on the outside and somehow spun out of something and got 6 yards, and we needed 5. And we were going to go for it on 4th anyway. But, that was a real, like I said, I'll remember that run for a long time. And, guys, we made some play. We didn't make every play, unfortunately, but we made a lot of plays, and the way the Seagers play, they play a lot of man. They challenge you mano y mano, and we took that challenge, and I think I was proud of how our guys competed on all levels. And so I think, we'll see the Seagers again in the playoffs, I'm sure. And yeah, it was a good week. I was proud after that game. Super proud. Obviously we could play a little bit better, but it was good. And so now we're at the halfway mark. We're 4-0, only undefeated team in the league, averaging 49 a game. We also didn't have our 2 starting safeties during the game, so that was a tough one. And then our best corner ended up getting ejected for targeting. So I think from third quarter on, we were out 3 of our 4 starting DBs. So dudes on defense stepped their ass up. D-line in the box, I think they ran for like 10 yards maybe, did their thing. But yeah, we're at 4-0, 49 points a game. We got 6 guys that are over 100 yards receiving on the year. 6 different guys who've scored touchdowns. Yeah, man, I'm liking where we're at. Obviously, it doesn't really matter though. Next game, next play is the only thing that matters. And so we got to just keep on chugging, keep on plugging, keep on working. And I think we will. I think we got a good group of dudes with youth and experience that kind of combines, and there's a hunger. So like I said, we just keep sticking to the formula, and and I think that the only team that can beat us is us. And so that's super cliche, but that's just how I see it. And no, this game was fun. It was a home game. And like I said, our home games, man, are popping. We run out to the smoke. We got cheerleaders. What's up, girls? We got, I think there were like 900 people at this one. It was cool. It was super cool. And so throw some of those highlights. You see them as I was talking right there. Yeah, we're rolling. Now we got a bye week this week. I'm going to go to Prague tomorrow after our practice, and then be there for a couple days, and then come back on Monday and start getting back to work, because we got home game the following week, and then 2 away games, which I think will both be tough because they're kind of far away, and both teams are scrappy. And one of them we haven't played yet, and they like to blitz, and they run kind of some exotic shit. So not looking ahead, but also just that's what it is. Yeah, that's what I'm rocking with for today, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I know this is late, so people who are watching this now, although you guys are always the people who are the main supporters, so I ask of you, please, I've kind of gotten away from it. But if you could send in some questions, and if you could do video questions of you asking it, that would be super fucking dope, man. And like, I'll put it on, and I'm stealing how Theo Vaughn and Schaub do it on This Past Weekend and King and the Sting. But I'd love to get any input and any question to talk about. And we can throw that in and kind of make it a normal segment. I was doing that for a while. I was getting some questions, but then I stopped asking, and so stopped getting them. Because, hey, closed mouths don't get fed. And so if you want something, you better go ask for it. Or you better go work for it. And so if you're still listening right now, if there's anything on your mind that you just want to get off your chest and put it out there to the ether internet universe, feel free. Send me a message, video message on Instagram at Living for a Living, or my WhatsApp +1 425 443 6928. Video message, voice message, text message, whatever. Or if you just want to talk, something's on your mind, something you need to get some off your chest that you don't want on the show, I'm down to listen. when I can, and because that's important. Everybody wants to be heard. Everyone wants to express themselves. Everyone wants to feel connected. Everyone wants to feel loved. And so I know how important it is for me. So I'm always down to be there when I can for anybody else. So please, you're still out there at the hour mark right now, let me know. Would really, really appreciate it. And yeah, that'll wrap it up for this week. As always, appreciate you big time. I love you. You matter to me, especially you're listening right now. And we'll see you next week. All right? Peace and much love.
Living for a living, baby. How you doing?